Hi, welcome to the Vegan Travel Summit. I'm Kim Giovacco, owner of Veg Johnson Journeys. We take small groups on vegan tours to Europe and on whole food, plant-based, no-oil tours in the US. I hope you're all learning a lot and getting a lot of inspiration from these presentations. The replays will be available on the platform until February 5th. And although this is being pre-recorded, I will be on the platform live during the viewing, so I encourage you to use the chat function if you have any questions or comments. So this is how to pack using only carry-on luggage, no matter how long your trip. So whether it's for 5 days or 5 months, I would take the same amount of clothing. What I'll show today is packing for an international trip. If I were traveling domestically, I would take a lot less. It would probably just be one bag. I haven't checked a bag in over 25 years. There were just one too many times where my bag it didn't arrive at the same time as I did, and I had to wait a couple days, which I found pretty stressful. So some reasons to travel carry-on only are you won't have the stress of wondering if your bag is going to turn up. You won't have to wait at the crowded baggage carousels. I used to fly in and out of Boston a lot, and it would routinely take 30 to 45 minutes for the bags to start coming out. And if you're using an airport shuttle that only runs every hour or so, you might miss it by just a few minutes if you have to wait a long time for your bag. Once you get to where you're going, you'll very easily be able to use public transportation. If you can carry all of your bags, you won't have to waste money on a taxi. And if your flight happens to get canceled while you're at the airport, if your bag is with you, then you have a lot of flexibility. You don't have to worry about if the airline will be able to locate your bag and then get it onto the same flight as you. And you'll also save on baggage fees because some airlines do charge for checked bags. So in order to travel carry-on, the bag needs to be less than 45 inches when you add up the length, the width, and the height. And I find that those three measurements really don't matter as long as it's under 45 inches. It will fit combined, it will fit in the overhead bin. Sometimes with budget airlines in Europe, they don't really go by the dimensions, they go by weight, and it's pretty strict. Normally the bag has to weigh less than about 15 pounds. So an empty bag with wheels is 7 or 8 pounds. So it's pretty hard to stay under the 15-pound limit then. I tend to avoid the budget airlines for the most part because I think once you add up all the extra fees, it doesn't really cost that much less than a mainstream airline. So I prefer a soft-sided bag that has pockets. I know that now these sleek, hard-sided bags are very popular. I just don't think that they would work for me. This bag I've had for several years. I got it on the website called eBags, which I really love. They have bags from many different manufacturers, but I really like their own brand of bags the best. So I find that they're reasonably priced. This bag also comes without wheels as a backpack. It's basically the exact same bag. I just tend to prefer with the wheels. So you can have one carry-on bag and one personal item, and this has become pretty strict lately. So the personal item can be either a purse or a tote bag, a backpack, or a computer bag. And the strict part has been, like for instance, if I have two bags and I'm wearing a purse, when I go to get on the plane, the gate agent, has said the purse needs to fit into one of the other bags. So you have to make sure that you leave some room in one of the other bags for that if you're carrying a purse. And I also always take a small foldable backpack because in case at the airport there wasn't any room on the plane for your bag and you had to gate check it, I would put anything that was important in here and have this with me at all times. The airport that I leave from is a pretty small airport, and sometimes the planes are very small and there's not even room in the overhead for a large backpack. So normally everything has to be gate checked. And there's not too much chance of your bag getting lost if it's gate checked because you then pick it up right when you get off the plane. It doesn't come out on the baggage carousel, but you never know. I just like to play it safe. So I will say that all this comes very naturally to me. I live in a large, tiny house of 400 square feet, so I don't have a lot of clothing or possessions to begin with, and I'm by no means a fashionista, but I do have quite a few friends who live in regular size houses and who do like to look stylish every day, and they're able to pack this way as well without any issues. It does take some practice though. I think that if you're traveling with a group, say, that your travel companions are there to see the sights, not necessarily to check out your outfit every day. And I wouldn't be afraid to repeat outfits during the week because, honestly, I don't even remember what I wore yesterday, so I'm not going to remember what someone in my group wore a few days ago. So I would normally pack 5 or 6 outfits, and then plus there's the clothing that I would be wearing, and I would take more shirts than pants. I also like to take, it doesn't have to be all of the clothes, but some items that can easily be washed in the hotel sink and air dried. And if you're away for longer than 9 or 10 days, I think you should plan on doing laundry. So either hand wash in the hotel as you go, or make some time to go to a laundromat, which could be a fun experience in another country. Sometimes now hotels have laundry rooms for guests to use. You'd have to pay a little, but it's very reasonable. Or if you don't have any spare time, you could have the hotel do your laundry, which admittedly is not cheap. I paid about $30 for a load of laundry at my hotel in Florence this year, but it was well worth it. I got it back the same day, and that would be cheaper than paying to check a bag if you had to, and I didn't have to spend any time doing it. I would also say to mix and match clothing, so try to avoid taking items that are only going to go or match with one other item. And if you're traveling during cooler weather, I would suggest layering instead of taking heavy, bulky sweaters that are going to take up a lot of room. So a year or two I started using these compression bags, which I find just fantastic. Before that, I had been rolling my clothes for a few years, which I can also recommend because you can roll them and then line them all up in the suitcase and see everything at once, which definitely has its advantages. After the rolling method, I moved to packing cubes, which I thought was also good, but I think they take up more room than the compression bags. So these basically have two zippers. So there's one compartment to put the clothing in, and then the other zipper kind of tightens it up. And these were made by Eagle Creek, which was a fantastic company that was around for years, but I'm pretty sure they stopped operating during the pandemic. But I think it's still possible to get these online from other stores, for instance, REI, and I'm sure that other companies have started making them. So, you know, you can fold your things however you want. I've done all that already. I do find it helpful to put some masking tape with what's in each bag. So this is 3 pairs of pants and 2 sets of PJs or loungewear and 7 shirts. I wouldn't always take this many, but there was room. Undergarments, socks, and masks. I have 6 or 7 masks in here, and a pair of slippers. So I take only the shoes that I'm wearing. I have a large shoe size, and I really wouldn't be able to fit another pair of shoes. But when I'm finished, you'll see that there's room in the bag, so you might definitely be able to fit another pair. So then these pockets up here I use for basically when I arrive, things that I need once I'm in the hotel room. So this is a hanging laundry rack that I got years ago from this really cool Japanese store called Muji, M-U-J-I. They're located in a lot of major cities. And they also have a website, but unfortunately most of their travel and organizing accessories are only available in the store, not online. And they also tend to rotate their stock a lot, so I'm not sure if they're even making this anymore. These are 2 inflatable hangers because when something is air drying, if the front and back of the garment aren't touching, they'll dry a lot quicker. And these are 2 mesh bags, so if you were going to the laundromat and had any delicates, or for instance, when I was in Italy, I put my masks in here and then put this into the big hotel laundry bag when I had the hotel do the laundry. And as much as I don't like plastic, I always take some plastic bags just in case I had to transport something that was wet. I always like to double disinfect the high-touch areas in the hotel room. I bring an extra cheap phone in case something happened to my phone while I was leaving a tour. And then this is a laundry bag that folds into itself. So yeah, I would just use this to collect dirty clothes if I were going to a laundromat or until I put the clothes in the hotel laundry bag. So this will close up very easily. I think you could probably even still put more things in there, like a jacket or something. I always take an umbrella, and I really like this size. It's not one of the really small, flimsy sizes that are not comfortable to carry. It fits perfectly in here. I like to take these packable food containers. So if I were on an international flight, I would have some snacks in here. Normally I have no issues getting vegan meals when I request them ahead of time, but in September, when there weren't so many flights going from from the US to Europe, 3 of us that were on my group tour were on the same plane from Dallas to Rome, and we all requested vegan meals, and none of us received them. They were doing vegan meals because we know other passengers got them, but we were just all unlucky on that flight. So this is actually a bowl that opens up and collapses, and I just find that these are good for takeaway too. So I don't normally like to eat on the plane, but sometimes it's unavoidable. And if I had like takeout containers made of paper or styrofoam, I'd much rather have the food in these. And then just this little bag to make it easier to carry them on the plane. And I mean, a small bag like this really wouldn't be counted as an extra bag if the flight attendant knows that you're going to be using it right on the plane. I do like to bring my own small hair dryer. And then this is basically a sturdier Ziploc bag. If I had to, I have TSA pre-check, so I don't have to remove my toiletries, but they don't have TSA in Europe, so sometimes going through security, you would have to remove your toiletries, and then you need something clear to put them in. And then this is the foldable backpack, which just fits right up here. I also take this to use as my day pack. I don't want to have to empty out everything that's in my larger backpack, and I also don't want to carry the larger backpack around for the daily sightseeing. So that one's finished, and then this is the second bag that would be allowed. So this is my toiletry bag, and it's really only about half full. There would be plenty of room in here if you needed to put makeup or medications. I started a couple of years ago trying to only use solid toiletries. So I actually don't have any liquid in here at all. The solid toiletries obviously aren't available for everything yet, but this one company that I really like, Ethique, they're vegan, they're cruelty-free, palm oil-free, all the packaging is recyclable or compostable, and they have soap, shampoo, conditioner, deodorant, exfoliator, body lotion, facial lotion, all in solid form. And when you place an order for something full size, you can get a trial size for free. So this was actually what a trial size deodorant came in. I think it works really well. And obviously the piece would have been smaller than this box, and it would last about 7 weeks. So this is much smaller than having even a travel size item of something, and just the fact that you can move away from a lot of liquids makes it really easy. So I would put this at the bottom because I don't need this until I arrive in the hotel. And then these are my I just wanted to mention, I don't travel with any jewelry. I just take a couple of pairs of earrings maybe, and those are in the toiletry bag. I also don't take a first aid kit. I only have some pain reliever and Band-Aids, which are also in the toiletry bag. I mean, in 30 years of going to Europe, I've never needed a first aid kit, and obviously you can very easily get whatever you needed at a pharmacy. So I do like to have some organizing bags, but not too many, because honestly you'll forget what you put in them. If you do want to have a lot of them, I would suggest trying to find clear ones where you could see what's inside. This is all my electronic stuff. So just a thumb drive and a little sewing kit. This is a really terrific adapter cube that I'm sure you could get online. I happened to get this at the airport in Rome. So it doesn't look like it covers Asia, but it covers UK, Europe, and Australia. But I always do like to have extras. I mean, every once in a while these can get left behind in the wall. And then these are all the cables that I would need. I actually have almost a whole second set in my purse, just because I'm paranoid about not having enough power. And yeah, speaking of power, so this is an extra battery booster. I mean, normally on an international flight, you'll have an electrical outlet at your seat, but every once in a while they don't work. Or these are good to have if you're delayed at the airport and there's no extra outlets to use to plug in. I wouldn't even take these on every trip, but this is my tablet and keyboard and Nook or Kindle. I think that this is a nice to have. It's a kind of pouch to use at the seat, so you don't have to keep going into your backpack. I have in here like some homeopathic jet lag pills that you take on the plane, extra masks, the earbuds, more sanitizer. You could also fit your reading device in here. Sanitizing wipes that I would use once I got on the plane. And my passport, which would actually be in my purse, and currency. So I normally always come back from a trip with leftover currency, especially if I know I'm going to be returning to that place. So once I got to the airport, I would take my US dollars out of my wallet, put them in here, and then take the euros out and put them into my everyday wallet. I actually also, this is already in here, this is just a scarf in case it was cold on the plane. I always bring my own blanket, and there's actually a inflatable back pillow in here as well. And this is my inflatable neck pillow. And I never travel without a refillable water bottle. So this actually, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a filter in this from a company called Go Pure, and I highly recommend it. So I wouldn't hesitate, in Europe to just fill this up with the water in the bathroom sink, which normally doesn't taste that great, but the filter makes it taste a lot better. And the filters last for about 6 months or so if you use them every day. And then my purse, which is on the smaller side, but it's not tiny, that would just fit right here. And really that's just for getting on the plane. Once you're on the plane, you can take that out. There's still extra room in here, and there was still extra room in this suitcase in the front if you had, a jacket or something like that. So I hope you found some good tips here, and that it will be easy for you to travel carry-on only with some practice. And please feel free to ask any questions. And also, you can download a packing list that I made. I just kind of have the clothing in general items, but then I have all the extra stuff, that I take all the time, and you can just check them off. Thank you so much.